might be interesting. I'm really curious. Obviously, if you flash out of Q, like the hammer Q, you miss out on the damage. I'm wondering if the hammer after the changes actually can get you out. Because before the changes, I'd be pretty positive it is. And we will see a change of different summoner spells here. As we do have a ZIKA with the flash and ignite, whereas Angel went with the barrier ignite.
Yeah, one thing to mention, if you've been not really paying attention to these 1v1s a lot, they removed the 100 CS requirement. It is now first turret or first 2 kills or whoever gets the first kill in the Ring of Fire. And already we're seeing Angel pick up kill number 1 and didn't even have to burn his barrier.
Invaders on top, baby. That was a little curious. Again, whoever strikes first in a mirror matchup, you have advantage. Angel managed to find the first empowered shock blast. ZIKA missed his and took the all-in and lost. So this might be over pretty quickly, Yanni.
Yeah, he's got 1,000 gold up right now. Oh, they have empowered recall now? Did they always have empowered recall?
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a first blood thing.
Maybe. I don't know. You know, I've watched enough of these, but like, that's one thing that I haven't really paid attention to because I'm just like, oh yeah, they're backing, you know, and you never really pay attention to how long somebody's back is because, you know, at this point you just expect them to have symbiotic souls if Baron hasn't spawned yet or Herald wasn't taken by them. So
Yanni ignores the back because he wants the honorable 1v1. You know, I
feel
like that's
absolutely.
the real reason.
I would have walked into the turret even though I could back. It's a little bit of trading being done. As ZIKA got to be careful at this point. You have to play for the Ring of Fire, I think. To try to win the 1v1 there.
Probably. I mean, again, it's a mirror match. If you're just down gold, that's good luck outplaying that. As
it's not
Angel
looking so good.
Weaves in a really nice empowered shock blast there through the wave. It does find the enemy Jace. And he's going to hit the hills. Going to have to see how much he gets back, as that's likely another plate going over to Angel.
Yeah, this is rough, man. Angel, you know what? Maybe this is a good indication that Angel is reverting to past form, right? Absolutely crushing it right now on the Jace. Maybe LNG's going to be like, you know what? Let's not give this guy Jace today. Maybe he's feeling a little dangerous. You know, some days you just have it, right? And maybe he just hasn't.
There's some pretty different builds coming out. Ruby Crystal stack for the Jace that is behind, realizing that, well, again, he is behind. Going to go defense here, whereas Pickaxe and Steel Caps for Angel. I feel like I like his build better. I see more damage and a lot of armor. Jace has some magic damage in the kit, but not enough to really warrant this, and we're not going to stand behind the creeps here. Okay. Okay, able to get around that one. That's nice. That's nice.
They take a little shift damage. I do like the double Ruby Crystal here. He's a little thicker, is ZIKA. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to help him, but, I mean, he won't die right away, right? Maybe he will die right away. Double Ignites are down. Trying to get to that health pack. Angel's going to pick it up. Has the barrier too.
Oh.
ZIKA's low, but the last tick of the heal is enough to keep him alive for right now.
I do like how Angel played that one. Held that empowered shock blast for a little bit. Was able to find ZIKA in the back half. Going to take another plate. Get ZIKA quite low. And we're going to flip it here.
Drop the hammer on him. Drop bows on him. No flash means that Angel will not be able to take out ZIKA, but may as well at this point. It's looking pretty doomed.
Is that an Ovechkin reference here on the cast, Yanni? All right. Way to sneak that one in there. I appreciate that.
Oh, it's just like he snuck that last one to the back of the net.
Yeah. As if anyone's not a sports fan, one of the most impressive records, honestly, in sports was broken today, which is Wayne Gretzky's full record. That thing stood for a long time. You had so many players being like, that thing's never going to be broken, and Ovechkin did it in year 20, and in a year where he might be on the best team, which is kind of crazy to think about. But congrats to him. That was a cool one to watch. Hockey is an awesome sport, filled with tradition, but back to the tradition of the LPL. And the new tradition we're starting with the 1v1, yeah.
Absolutely, man. I'm also interested in side win rate in these 1v1s too, even though it probably doesn't mean that much. There's a lot of interesting stats you can always grab, but I'm a sucker for stats, being a fan of the major 4 sports over in the States, you know.
At the moment, in the mirror matchup, usually it's about stat checking or outstatting, which different stats being picked up. I mean, I find this quite interesting, just going defensive on the Jace. Again, I think you kind of have to.
Yeah, I think
to
he's just
survive.
going for hammer into the fire, right? That's the strat that you have to go for. I mean, especially when you've lost first blood, right? Although, I guess we're going to go for it all in here. The barrier has been popped, and the level difference will be the difference in the end here. Level 10 to level 8.
Saman hit somehow, but it looks like that's not going to be the case, as there's Oblivion Orb in inventory early, as obviously Breathe with the Vamp Scepter, as well as the Conquer, as well as just the general passive as well, heals a lot, part of the kit, so making sure that that gets cut a little bit as we start this 1v1 off.
Yeah, I do very much agree with getting that early anti-heal in right here for Cream. Otherwise, you're just going to get taken down. I mean, if it's a tankier champion, Bramble Caps as your immediate start would make a lot of sense in this situation. I think it makes sense, but also, yeah, you do just kind of get jumped right here, and I don't know how much Breathe really minds. Even with missing that stun, that's still a huge chunk of damage already taken out of Cream.
Yeah, the Grievous Wound is not going to help you too much there, and Breathe didn't even hit his stun, and still was able to do a big chunk of damage onto Cream, who has used both of his potions already. Again, we do have that Empowered Recall, which might help a little bit, and, you know, Cream will be able to poke nicely with these command dissonances and things like that. But another stun does connect. Breathe going in early, playing very aggro in this 1v1.
Yeah, once you've got that stacked up on the passive right here for Breathe, you just deal so much damage. This is the point where it does get a little bit chiller though, because Cream can of course just, you know, take the farm, sit back a little bit, allow the game to happen. You're really going to need that level 6 for Cream to be able to get the 1v1. But still, I mean, yeah, as much as the damage is being done, the anti-heal is stopping Breathe from keeping himself in as good a spot. It just doesn't feel like Cream's finding any angles early to be able to play. And, you know, you've only got 5 or so minutes until that Ring of Fire starts closing in. You know, you don't have a lot of time to get yourself actually up into those good stages for yourself.
Oh, wow. This is really well played here by Breathe so far. Uses the snowball to just try to zone Cream off of the health shard as well. He ends up stealing that one away. And should be able to just collect another shard here with a big wave crashing in. As a top lane main who likes playing a lot of tanks, Aurelia, kind of the bane of my existence for at least a few years when it was super meta back in like season 10, 11. So part of me is getting PTSD, but part of me is also just impressed by watching Breathe play this one out so far.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the sort of champion that we really don't get to see top laners pull out at the moment. That's one of the best things about the 1v1s, right, is that we actually get to see something a little bit different, a little bit more fun in terms of the champion pools. But yeah, right now, Breathe just going to keep the pressure up. Misses the snowball right here, so it's missing quite a lot of the stuns and the snowballs, unfortunately. I'm not sure how much that's going to impact in the end, because the pressure is still here, and you wouldn't exactly be able to go in for an all-in under the tower at this point, not without the fully stacked up passive. Now you can go, potentially? Ah, it's just a poke ulti. Yeah, this is rough for Cream.
There's an ulti to try to clear the wave out, and it looks like we're not even getting an empowered back at this point, so Cream taking a beating and just heading back to base anyway. Breeze should be able to shove another one under tower. At this point here, Cream, I think, realizes that you will not be winning this game off of CS or the tower being taken down. Breeze should probably be able to just auto this once to pick up that extra gold for the plate, maybe even get himself 2. Wow, that's a big boon of gold.
3? I think he gets 3 here. Yeah, it's going to be 3 full tower plates.
And the crazy thing is, Breeze doesn't even have to base if he doesn't want to. I mean, I think he might, just because of all the gold that he's gotten. That's 375 in the bank on top of the 10 CS lead that he's generated. But he heals up really nicely. I mean, this is going to be very hard for Cream to win. And we talk about this matchup. We didn't set too many expectations. We talked mostly about the jungle matchup between these two teams. But I think overall, most of us are favoring top esports in this best of 3. But the way the 1v1's going, Blockster, maybe not, you know?
Yeah, maybe we should be all in on the Weibo train right now. I mean, the 1v1s, it tells you a little bit, potentially, about the way it could go when you've got actual matchups, or we maybe see actual lane matchups between a top jungler. I'm not sure how much we're going to actually see this 1v1 during the actual matchup. If Breathe had have landed that one, I think you just actually immediately kill right there, right? You've got the ball completed for Breathe. You're in the strongest spot you're probably going to be in throughout this 1v1, and you're just going to look to fully press that one. It's really unfortunate for Cream that he's just not been able to get enough gold together to actually have that first completed item. He's got little scraps right now, but nothing to really make it stick.
And that's the bad side of starting an Oblivion Orb for the extra heal cut, right? Because that means that you don't get that full first item power spike. Instead, you're just kind of playing garage sale with the Lost Chapter and the Lucidity Boots on top of it. Meanwhile, Breathe has a fully completed item and a very strong first item spike on basically any bruiser top laner, but especially on Aurelia where you can get those auto attacks off quickly. And speaking of, there it comes, that first proc of the Bork proc.
The ult.
Ultimate is flashed away from, and Breathe will have to follow his flash over the shockwave, but he still wins out on the health trade in the 1v1. However, now Cream is starting to do a little bit more damage in terms of poke, pops the dissonance to get a little bit extra movement speed, and actually wins out on the trade.
Yeah, this is what the Oblivion Orb is doing right here. In these longer, more extended trades where Cream's actually able to keep himself alive throughout the first bit and return some of the damage, all of that healing cut just means that Breathe not able to keep himself in a good spot. Also gets that base stopped as well. So Cream actually has turned this one around pretty effectively.
Yeah, and actually because Breathe didn't take the best back in terms of where the wave state was,
stopped again.
He's down in XP to Cream as well. And now Cream is the one just pummeling away at this turret, and Breed's going to have to make a decision very quickly. Does he go back to base and risk his tower getting chunked very, very low, or going for a 1v1? He's going to choose the former, but look at the plates on this tower. They're going down quick.
Really are, and this is a big mistake in terms of just decision-making from Breathe. If you're going to get forced back to base eventually anyway, you've just got to go.
He's got a whole other wave.
Yeah, you've just got to leave early on. I don't know if Breathe even gets back in time for this one.
Wait, the tower might be down. Look at a chunk. He's just auto-attacking it. What a turn of events. Breathe didn't even get a chance to fully revive his health bar.
Know how important blue side is for all teams here in the LPL. The winner here does get side select for their side for this fearless best of 3 that we have ahead of us. It is first turret, first to 2 kills, or when the Ring of Fire is around, first kill. So changed up the rules a little bit. No more 100 CS. As, first strike to 369. Oh my god.
Yeah, seeing lethal tempo here on the Volbear, kind of interesting. And really try and get those chain lightnings going. I don't know if the lightning hits, if that actually procs the full tempo. I gotta say, I'm not sure about that. So that might be something to look out for.
The tech. He's also got the early MR. Oh, okay. Not gonna have the Q there. Didn't have the shield either. So we're getting a little contestant coming out. 369, showing the prowess on the big belly man. I don't know. This push is gonna be a little tough though, because the lightning procs is gonna make it to where Care could just get insta push all the time.
What is this? Oh, he's throwing the
He's
claws
spamming.
out.
Yeah, he's spamming. Look at him. He's giving the little chuckles of what he can do. You got a big old wave.
Volbear has elite spams. I'm glad to see
he
Care
does.
using 2 of them off the bat. That's good. That's good tech.
His dance is also just next level, man. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's got multiple great spams. Fun fact: this is the first champ I ever played in League of Legends. Of course, it was the old bear. And definitely not why I have the name Cubby, but you know, Volbear still has to be a thing.
Had a non-0% influence. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. You know, whatever fits your narrative here, so.
That's all we do as casters. It's all about narrative. Care is going to be looking to trade pretty heavily. It does feel like this is going to be a situation where it's just going to be kind of a farm fest between the two. Unless we get the all-in, but both do so little damage, at least right now, that the all-in is not super expected between the two. Okay, I say that and I cast a Cursor. That's what okay, maybe we just keep talking about them not doing anything, and then they'll do a bunch of stuff.
I mean, what a trade coming in.
He's about to get level 6, though.
It doesn't look like the full tempo procs off the electricity. Yep, there's the
Oh, no. 369 actually moving on that one. He doesn't have much mana left, though.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious that we haven't seen Care go for the Q into the body slam again. Like, that is...
Does he know?
You take priority there. Again, one of the few things where... it is a trade, right? But I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen the Volbear take advantage of that. 369 has a little bit more sustain in his kit in this match. Of course, Care needs to pop those frenzies in order to get the sustain off the Volbear, whereas 369 just needs to use abilities at the right time to get sustain from his kit. But despite having a little bit more sustain, not going to stick around. Going to base on the caddy wave. Care going to get it in, and likely to match resets here. Oh, does he get the plate? I think he should have gotten the plate.
Nope.
Bummer.
Bye-bye, plate money. It is going to be the lost chapter for 369. We're going to get a ton of MR for Care.
Yeah, a little bit surprised about this one, as, again, we have seen the Riftmaker Bear be big, but it's like just trying to survive and thrive against this Gragas. Just don't know how he's going to put damage down onto the Gragas later on if he's building all this defense. Of course, loses the sustained battle because he's not really able to proc those frenzies. So I think that has to be his logic here.
See what kind of approach he takes this time around with this this minion wave. Oh no. Okay. He goes for the health crystal there, so at least he gets something back. Okay, Cass coming through. 369's feeling really confident in this one. He's got a ton of damage with that lost chapter, the double Dorans, and the amplifying tome. Some
he
nice
didn't get it.
trade, dude.
He didn't get it.
He is just absolutely working Care right now. These are body shots.
Yeah, there it is. But
Okay.
I feel like Care didn't get that in the earlier trade, which is a pretty big deal. I don't know if he had Q up or not, as we're on Gragas' abilities in the bottom, but was close. That's going to force Care back.
Actually really enjoyed some of the trades, the 369. It just feels like it's just moving around with the flow. I don't know. They are going to get the resets now, so getting a little bit of recurve bow action there for Care. And going to be getting closer and closer to that first... Okay, I was going to say first item fight. 369 already has it.
Bummer. Just to pixel off from the caddy minion, which is actually really important.
It's a lot of gold.
Yeah, those caddy minions, they're pretty juiced in this one.
I think it's like 159 or something like that. It's like something crazy.
It scales throughout.
Yeah.
The first one is around there, and then it goes up pretty fast.
Dude, what is... I love that Care's still starting. I feel like the Ludens, though, pretty strong for 369 right now. These trades that we saw earlier are going to be even more lethal.
Yeah, the recurve bow not going to really match complete Ludens here for 369. Just level for Care.
Okay. Care's doing a good job, though, here.
We're getting close to the Ring of Fire. We don't have the timer up here today.
It is. It's right there. 50 seconds.
Oh.
Yeah,
it's
it
at
only
the top
comes
right.
up when there's a minute left. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know that in the past we had it actually above the 2-to-1 kills
Yeah.
sometimes, which was nice. So our production was so good that I actually did not realize where the actual timer was on the LPL stream. Just gonna
Shout out to the LPL stream.
shout out to our own team and to also the LPL stream we're on right now.
Yeah, so I was right in saying that this was just going to be a farm fest until we got to the Ring of Fire, but now we're going to have to see them fight. They can no longer just farm.
It's still bummed to see a couple moments for Care.
They better back.
Isn't able
They
to get
better
that Q
back.
off for the E, and that's a big cooldown actually.
I mean, if 369 keeps him here, I think he just wins the fight outright because Care has not spent his money. Okay, he's going to have
a little
time.
late.
He's going to have time.
Does he have time?
It
I don't see
sticks
it
there
moving
for a
yet.
second. Yeah, it sticks there for a second once
He's
it
got
spawns.
his Q.
It's not a sheer scenario. Thank God. Okay, we're
369.
good.
He's gonna cut.
He is not going to make it. He is not. No, maybe.
He can dash back
Did
and
he?
flash
Did
back.
he?
Yeah.
Oh, he made it.
Dude,
Look at that.
Blue side advantage. That's all I'm
Dude,
saying.
absolutely. Oblivion Orb plus the Lucidity Booth plus Loons. I don't know,
Wit's
man.
End.
369.
Okay. So it was a wit's end, went straight defense. As I will say, I actually don't mind this for Care. The lethal tempo makes a lot more sense now. Care might be able to get through this, but
Why does
that
this
Oblivion
always
Orb's
feel like the
big.
Simpsons meme? I like
369 is
standing
no
around
ult
the
at the
fire.
moment. I think
He
that's what we're going
doesn't.
to wait on. If he
Yeah,
gets
but-
his ult up, then it does come up first. That's
I don't know. Is it going to come up fast enough? I don't know. They're going to have
I
to
missed the
fight
view.
in the middle of the fire here. It's getting very close. If it
Yeah,
comes
he's
up
gonna
at the
get it.
perfect
He's gonna
time, he's
get
going to knock Care out. And that's going to be so devastating. Here it goes. Right into the fire, but the instant flash. Care getting low, but he's fighting tooth and
Wit's
nail. Them
End.
bear claws, they hurt the barrier. And he takes down 369.
Wins you the tournament, right? Doesn't
Correct.
give you the side select. Do not be fooled into thinking that 100 CS is going to do anything for you. It's 2 kills or first tower. We have removed the CS, which, I gotta be honest, I'm very thankful for.
Yeah, you can't just... I don't want to say cheat your way out, because it was a legitimate way to win the game, but you can't take the coward's way out of just winning by war of attrition. You gotta fight. You gotta do a battle to the death.
Yeah.
And if you don't get the first 2 kills, or the first tower, then there's a ring of fire that closes in on you, you know, Fortnite style, and then you are forced to battle to the death. Now, I'm really curious how Rookie tries to prep the trades here with his Shadow Clones, because while, yes, the Assassin has a lot of burst damage, Shanks is still a ranged champion, and that will still give you an overall advantage in getting first shove on the wave.
Absolutely. For right now, it's very much going to be on Rookie to just get himself to level 6 and then try for an all-in. Potentially even just get an early recall off, get a little bit more power onto himself, and then go in for the all-in later on. But having this much lane control is always so nice on this map, because you can get yourself the relic both of your own and of your opponents, and it can just give you such a good health advantage. Plus, obviously, pretty easy to be able to poke out in this range versus melee matchup.
Yeah.
You know, Zed, he's not the worst for being able to do a little bit of poke back, but you can see it right here. I don't even know if Rookie's going to be able to step up to this one. Yeah, didn't even get himself the healing there, and it's just so rough to try play out very early on.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, the way you want to be able to set up your level 6 all-in is try to land some of this poke, slowing them with the Shadow Slash. Should make layering the shurikens on top a little bit easier to land, but it's still overall a skill shot, and if Shanks is able to be quick on his feet, which he has been so far, denying Rookie a lot of potential harass off the HP bar, which does make that overall level 6 all-in a lot harder to achieve, as Shanks hitting level 6, Valkyrie forward. Here we go.
And there it is.
First all-in.
Yep.
Whoa, where did
Yep.
that burst damage come from?
Yep.
Rookie, I was not familiar with your game, but between the Death Mark, the Electrocute, and the Ignite, that put Shanks back in the dirt.
It's exactly as we were just saying, right? You wait for that level 6, hope you've landed just about enough poke, and he does indeed. It's very, very close, but also Rookie still has the barrier available, so wasn't even that close to being taken out on the trade kill. Obviously, you do still need 2 kills, so it's not going to be the end of the world. There's still a possibility for Shanks to be able to get himself back into this one, but he has very much been put on the back foot. We're actually going to get a replay of this. Like you said, he just uses everything right here, and Shanks, he gets very aggressive with his positioning, and I don't know if he thought maybe Rookie either didn't have the damage or wasn't going to tick 6 when he did, but it's just such an odd time to step up that far.
You can tell that there's like maybe a sense of false confidence since Rookie was down his W shadow, and so they thought maybe, oh yeah, I'm level 6, I should be able to get a lot of trade damage in like this now, where he knows for a fact that Rookie is on cooldown with that Death Mark, and Rookie can't really answer back right now.
No, he's so incredibly low at the moment, and despite getting that early kill, he's only got himself a very slight item advantage, and trying to step up to the wave right now could be incredibly tricky. He doesn't have that ulti, so you've just basically got to try land the poke right here, wait, and then hope that your all-in is going to work out. The Ignite and the ulti are going to come back up at pretty much the exact same time right here for Rookie, so there is a possibility, but, I mean, Shanks could just jump him here. Ooh. Shanks
is really trying to squeak Rookie out before Death Mark comes back up off cooldown, but now that Shanks is at 60% HP, close to 50%,
he's got
there's a world where Rookie just might go for it. He has Ignite, he has Barrier, he has Death Mark available. If he sees Shanks goes for another Valkyrie, he just might take it.
If you die here, you're going to lose your tower, and that is going to end this 1v1, so you've got to be really careful about this. In fact, it looks like both of them just going to go for a reset right here, or is it just... Do you have time for this, Rookie?
I mean, the Ring of Fire has not started yet. I think he definitely does. But then again, if Shanks clears out this minion wave rapidly...
It's melting, yeah.
Oh,
hang on.
Rookie is trying to pop the shadow. He's trying to get there as soon as possible. The turret damage isn't going to survive. 2, 1. The barrier, the Death Mark, not enough time.
Okay. So we get to take a look at some of the summoners and keystones here. Double press the attack, which does make sense. But Sasa not having flash feels a bit weird to me. It makes sense for someone like Linfeng, because you could literally just jump away. But not having that flash, or even like a snowball available to you as the Volibear, makes it, I think, pretty tough to ever actually interact with Tristana early on.
I feel like the double Dorons here, specifically from Sasa, going for the shield and the ring, signifies that he's not really trying to go for an early first item. He wants to just kind of fight on cooldown here. Without that rocket jump available, he can do a lot of big chunk damage here. Now Linfeng actually jumping on top of Sasa. I think he got himself a reset there on the jump as well. So he's doing himself a lot of favors here with the poke.
Yeah, as soon as you get those 5 stacks of the explosive charge going off, you get a free reset of your W, so it makes sense to see that. I wonder how much more we're going to be getting those kinds of trade patterns from Linfeng, because as soon as Sasa has no E, you can just do this. Yeah, he has no shield. This is just a death.
Knight is procced. Hold on. The barrier from Sasa is big, though. The volley bear actually winning out on this one. Both players under 100 HP. That Doran's shield doing some work for Sasa as well, as now we're playing on a nice edge.
Yeah, Linfeng, you are not allowed to get close to this minion wave. The lightning strikes passive from Sasa makes this very difficult to quantify going up, but Linfeng can just cut him off from the health pack.
Oh, wow.
Sasa, just take your recall, bro. Just take your recall. He's going to push the wave anyway. You're just going to have to catch this wave. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but now we play Tristana mode, though, which is that those plates are going to fall pretty quickly, especially if you get an explosive shot onto it. It is a cannon mate wave, which might try to deter it a little bit. And actually, maybe Linfeng misplays this a little bit. Maybe should have just gone for the wave instead. Does get himself a plate. And we'll likely push this one in and just head back to base.
-2, -3. Okay, come on, Linfeng.
Hey, it's not 100 CS anymore. It's fine. As long as you get the cannon, it's okay.
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. Why did? Okay, I think this is definitely just complete conjecture here. Why does the LPL feed not love us here? I think they hate me in particular. Yesterday we had the timer for when the Ring of Fire was gonna go up. It's just gone. Like usually, we have we try to put like our own like fake timer, but they have like an actual official one, and I was excited because that means that's one less thing our prod people have to do during the 1v1s. But
I didn't even know. So yesterday they had an actual timer up there.
Yeah, they put it in the top right. It was a really tiny one. It was kind of cute, honestly, and I just love the fact we had an official one because I can't believe we are in March, January, February, March, April. We're in April and we have no official timer for a 1v1 side select we were going to be doing for the whole year.
Yeah. I guess were they gonna do the 1v1s before the Fearless announcement too?
Yes, we were supposed to do 1v1s for side select, even if it wasn't Fearless, because we were gonna have best of 3s, best of 5s, right? So
maybe no excuse then. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez.
Right games.
We're just gonna have to guess. Hey, it's okay. It seems like it's been around 4 minutes or so, right? Don't you think? I don't know.
Oh, except this probably.
Yeah,
have you been counting minion waves?
I have not. We can do some mental math here though. As it does, Sasa has a Warden's Mail, so we're not going to be fighting for a while. I don't think.
No, I don't think this is a very real fight here. Also, I think Linfeng's going for Blade of the Ruin King, which is interesting tech. Did just get nerfed on this patch or a couple patches ago for ranged champions in particular. So we'll see how that actually ends up going on through. If you're wondering what the hell are these two guys talking about, there's a Ring of Fire that is summoned at 7.5 minutes, and it just turns into
Wow, Sasa gets Buster Shotted pretty far backwards, but not actually underneath the turret, and so it's just going to be a trade of those ultimates there. One summoner spell advantage for Linfeng. He still has his barrier that will be important, and now Sasa does not have the Stormbringer to go for a potential turret dive, so he's going to have to go back to base as well.
Graves, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it matters. I think that Stormbringer pass. I think that Stormbringer ultimate is going to be right back up. Okay, so we see it's 130 seconds, so we've got 2 minutes before it's up. It'll most likely be available before that Ring of Fire. So we need to see. Sasa has an incredibly OP build to deal with Linfeng. You already noted the Warden's Mail. I'm looking at those boots now, plate steel caps. Good luck, Linfeng.
This is like what you play. This is like your build when you play Malphite into like a melee AD top laner.
Yeah.
And you make them hate their life. But now it actually makes sense because there's only physical damage that's going to be dealt against you here. That is the Blade of the Ruin King that you were talking about. So if you want a little bit of tank shredding, that does actually potentially help Linfeng a little bit. As we're getting closer and closer to that Ring of Fire closing in. Like once we get into that like all-out situation, like do you think that's when Sasa feels like he'll have an advantage with this extra armor, or?
So. He basically, if I'm looking at this from Sasa's perspective, is he needs to preemptively dodge or find. There we go. There's the timer. Okay, so it's when we have a minute left. Good to know. He's going to have to somehow buffer using the Stormbringer when Tristana uses the Buster Shot, because you're unstoppable while you're in midair, and so that would be the only way he's able to prevent being forcibly exited out of the Ring of Fire and made to take damage. So that'll be an interesting piece of tech. He could also just go for a stun and then try to go for an all-in. I just think it's pretty difficult.
Okay, little buffer here. The ring is closing soon, so if they want to try to get a kill off here, that now would be the time.
Wait.
But
okay, but they
that
okay,
is
so
a
basically they need to. So Linfeng's gonna clear this wave. He's gonna immediately recall. The Ring of Fire doesn't immediately contract when it spawns, but there's just no Buster Shot now. It's down for 80 seconds.
We did see Cream actually basically 100 to 0 the tower like very easily, even on like not an 80 carry. So that's not gonna happen here, but we got relatively close. As now here comes the Ring of Fire. Linfeng is gonna have to base soon. Not just yet. Asasa actually did not even get the full of his HP bar back, but now he knows Linfeng doesn't have the ultimate, and so
yeah,
we'll be able to force him
Linfeng
back.
hit the he's not doing it. He's not recalling. He's just gonna say,
Okay.
I'm just gonna fight him here.
Look at the Bramble Vest too. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. This is so difficult. All right, the Ring of Fire is on its way.
Remember, this is for side select in this series, can be very important. Blue side has been very strong on this patch, very highly prioritized for all these teams. So that's what Sasa and Linfeng are fighting for. And Linfeng's not going to have his Buster Shot for this 1v1 as the ring will close in. He gets himself a reset. The Ignite's already proccing. Still, Sasa has his ultimate. Gets a big chunk of healing. And this Tristana is just tickling the Volley Bear at this point. There comes the stun. He's going to use the Stormbringer to try to drive back. There comes the barrier as well. Linfeng just doesn't do any sort of damage. And Sasa wins the 1v1 for LGD.
Where they're going to be going.
Do you think they communicated in chat? Like, hey, let's go this to start off.
Same items, same runes, same
Otherwise, it's
summoner
not fair.
spells. This is identical right here.
I also love that they go the lethal tempo. Okay, so the things that you can express in terms of skill is that you can utilize the blight stacks nicely if you operate successfully. Looks like neither of them really prioritizing that right now. The other thing is with the passive for Varus, right? You get the extra auto attack speed for killing minions. If you can stack that up nicely, that will be good. And then of course the usual of spacing and the things that AD carry players like to do. So that's what we're looking for here in this matchup. And right now it's Scout that's winning out.
And who do you think between these two is someone who's going to have played a lot more Varus? Because I would expect that it would be Scout as a mid laner who's ended up playing more Varus than top, but we have had Varus top before, as they take a big chunk of damage out of each other. Cube actually coming out quite a lot behind in this one. He has been chunked way down at this point.
Oh, that piercing arrow would have hurt. As that's 2 points in the queue for Scout right now. Yeah, the top Varus was fun. You got the Jack. I mean, as a top lane main, I did play that a little bit. Maybe abuse is the better word for it. When you go to the Jack show and you're pretty unkillable, not necessarily as powerful anymore. As yeah, Cube getting very, very low. He's gonna have to at least take a base or something here, and that would mean big advantage over to Scout.
Really is, because like I said, we've seen a lot of these towers just going down early on more than anything else. So if you're able to get yourself a good chunk onto this tower, take a couple of plates, that'll put you ahead in terms of items as well. And also the benefit of being pushed up in these lanes is you can take your opponent's relics as well as being able to take your own. It helps you to keep that health advantage very much so during the early stages. And you can see it here, coming back with just a dagger right here for Cube, whereas you've got a full pickaxe for Scout. He's going to be in a significant advantage now once they start hitting each other again.
That's a big item differential. And also Cube didn't even decide to go back and regenerate all of his HP because he needed to get back to lane as fast as possible, which means another HP advantage going towards Scout. Is looking a little cooked if you're a WB fan. I'm not going to lie here. Scout needs to really misplay, or Cube's going to have a crazy moment here. Scout's actually the one who hits level 6 first. He throws out the Chain of Corruption, waits for the Bone Plating to expire. Cube flashes away from the Blight procs of the Piercing Arrow. Scout waiting for those cooldowns to come back off of cooldown.
Ooh, well played.
But will not be able to find any more Blight stacks here. Cube had 3 of them sitting on him for a while, but did not get any of them procced.
It was a well-played fight there from Cube. Oh, unfortunately, he just takes that last piercing arrow there because he was in a little bit of an advantage, considering the deficit of items that he was in. It was well played to start that one off. Now he's going to obviously have that level 6 advantage for a little while, but summonerless, quite low health. He's going to be having to play a lot of dodgeball right here to make sure he doesn't just get taken out. Good flash.
Scout, he flashed away from the Chain of Corruption. This should be a kill. That's first blood. That's one of the 2 needed here for Scout. And it's not going to be the end of the 1v1, but it does give him a big chunk of gold, and that's a huge win here for the mid laner of JDG.
Yeah, massive for Scout to be able to pick that one up. Obviously, he's very low health at this point, so he's going to be trying to push this wave through as quickly as possible, get a recall off, spend a little bit of gold. Interesting to see if he's going to have enough in his back pocket to be able to come back with that first item completed, because if so, it's going to be awful to try to play out right here.
For a plate too.
Yeah, he's going to stick around for the plate. I don't blame him. If you can come back with that first completed item, you're just going to be in such a strong spot to once again just walk right here at Cube. Especially with your ultimate coming back very soon.
It feels so bad. Look at him. He's 1,200 gold up.
Yeah.
How are you ever supposed to win? He's got a full bork.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yeah, this is unfortunate. This one is pretty much done. I've seen people mess up from this position, take an inopportune recall, have your full tower taken down. You know, there's opportunities right here potentially for Cube to be able to get himself back into this one, but it's going to be very, very unlikely, it must be said.
Need some severe outplays for Cube. That's not a good. That's not a good start. I'm not
No. Chains of Corruption is back up right here for Scout. You still got a little while left until Cube is going to have that one back available. Doesn't have the flash either, so if he gets tagged by that one, will most likely just be taken down. Like I said, the Bork is going to be in the back pocket of Scout too, so he's in a very dominant position in this one. You can see it here. Cube can't even step to the minion wave.
And if you're Cube, you almost have to wait for the Ring of Fire to go down, because if you do kill Scout beforehand somehow, you'll burn like all of your cooldowns. You'll be really low HP. You're gonna have to take probably a tough reset as well. And that means that you're just right back to even. And Scout will have all of his cooldowns back up. He'll have an item advantage and things like that. So for Cube, it's looking tough. Another wave crashing in. He's gonna have to do something at some point. Otherwise, his tower will actually go down before the Ring of Fire closes in. As those plates not as strong as they are on Summoner's Rift.
No, the tower's incredibly squishy in this mode. It's often surprising. You see somebody think they just about have enough time to get a recall off, but they end up losing their tower incredibly quickly.
Like this. Like,
yes,
this is a
exactly.
risky recall, honestly.
Exactly. If Cube actually goes back to base here, I think he will just straight up lose this tower. At the same time, he doesn't feel like he's in a spot to be able to actually step up and contest Scout. So it's just going to be a slow bleed out right here for Cube. It's going to take a miracle for him to get back into this one. And because of that, is most likely we're going to be seeing JDG over on the blue side of the Rift for game number 1. And the blue side definitely the strongest at the moment.
We're already thinking about side selection at this point.
This one's done, Zod. I mean, surely.
Scout even dominating the health relics. Here comes the Chain of Corruption. Scout hits his. Yep. Cube does not. Some more auto attacks as the lethal tempos have been procced. Can he hit? Piercing Arrow does connect. Cube does still have his flash. So does Scout. It's actually a relatively even trade in terms of HP, but Cube now has to head back to base. Yep. And that means Scout can once again get some free reign here on this tower and might actually be even able to take it down. Let's see how fast he burns this down with the full board.
Gone. I do not think you're actually going to be able to get back right here as Cube.
Run, Cube, run! Oh, he's BMing. He doesn't even want to end.
Yeah, it's done. This is done.
He says, "Fight me like a man." Okay. Tower's down. Yeah. Scout wins the 1v1. JDG left side select.
Farm it out like we've seen. If you're new here, if you've never seen what's going on, it is a 1v1 for side select in our fearless best of 3. First turret, first to 2 kills, or if we go into overtime with the Ring of Death, it is the first kill.
Hey, Riot, where's the HUD? They need
Yeah,
to bring the HUD back up. We don't have the health. I mean, the health bars at the top I don't really care about. It's mostly the fact that I want to see summoner spells. Okay, we've got player cams. Let's get the rest of this one up.
We're evolving. It's
so
the Animorphs.
I found out, by the way, the timer that's for the Ring of Fire, it only comes up a minute ahead of time.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be on for the whole thing.
It's in the top right.
Yep.
They don't want you to know. But the funny thing is, the timer comes up. That's just when it pops up. Then in some amalgamous amount of time later, it starts to close.
Yeah, I think it's 15 seconds, so that they.
No, I'd like to think it's fluctuating. It doesn't fit my narrative.
Yeah, actually,
it's
it's based on the mods. The mods at the time, the TOs, they come in and they're like, I think now's a good time. That was not. Look, they gave Sheer a bunch of time. I know that's the one you're trying to reference.
They gave Sheer a bunch of time, bro.
They gave him a bunch of time. We're not getting much in this
bag.
1v1. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting much. I think Hoya just has good range, and he has pressed the attack. So if Tian tries to take a trade, he's gonna lose a ton of health. Is this just straight tank build from Tian?
Let me go check, because I'll be honest, I've, you know, seen the Yorick numbers.
You're not a
and
Yorick enthusiast.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie here and be like, yeah, you know, actually I've put in like 50+ games of Yorick and Masters Plus, but I wanna make sure that the general idea of Yorick is still alive. It seems like he's going like, I mean, he's mostly just abusing a lot of the bruiser items right now. He's doing pretty well with Trinity Force. Let me see what one tricks are building.
Look at this. He doesn't even have to do anything, and Hoya loses like a quarter of his health. Love that.
Yeah, okay, so it's still looking vaguely the same. Trinity Force, Sorel does, so wouldn't be surprised to see TN either pick up like an Eclipse early on or just straight up go for the Trinity Force. And we'll see how he's able to use these ghouls. Again, Hoya with level 6, just by manner of him being ranged as well, should be favored in shorter trades, and I think that's why we see something like the press the attack.
You just want to try to keep a health advantage. I will say now we got to level 6s. See if we get any action kicking off. Chains of Corruption is going to be huge, but I will say the Maiden is really annoying, if anything.
Always is. Always is.
It's not Meowkai or like the Meow skin, whatever. Meowrick. It's not Meowkai. Meowrick. So I don't know. You lose points for that, Tian, but still pretty nuts.
Trying to see, he went the one with the beard, so it's Spirit Blossom. Okay, all right, fair play.
Oh, that maiden looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's using it already. So I'm assuming he has some level of tech here, because
he's a
we're
knower.
just using this to push the wave. He's just using this to push the wave, and then he gets to walk up to turret, and we've seen a couple of the turret first bloods already, so I wonder if that's kind of be the case. Yeah, he literally just gets to recall for free. Nice.
Okay.
All right, I love Warwick, man. I love Yorick. Cool champ.
Yeah, so far very interactive. Gonna go with the bladed steel caps and a longsword with a ruby crystal, so you know, change it up a little bit there.
Wow.
But at least has the
bladed
steel caps.
is OP.
Yeah, especially into Hoya's Veras. So Hoya's obviously going on hit. So is it Gwyn's first? Or is it Blade of the Ruin King first?
It's Blade of the Ruin King. I think you need just the ability to trade and also have some amount of lifesteal.
You 100% don't win that 1v1 when the Ring of Fire.
This is hilarious. This is such a funny 1v1. Good job.
He got the piercing arrow though. That's massive. The hail
of
arrows.
His back. I think this is a huge win for Tien. He literally, the Maiden is still alive, by the way. He took a recall, walked all the way back over here. He cancels Hoya's back. And now with this wave, Hoya's low-key kind of trapped here, at least for the time being. He's going to try and take as much of this turret as he can, and it comes at very little resources. Now that he doesn't have ultimate, I literally get to do this.
Okay, well, we're starting to see why Tien grabbed this one. Honestly, though, are we leaving this up to it's a mechanical difference, or is it just the fact that he has a bunch of AI helpers, you know?
The AI helpers are nice. You know, this is the one time that I will say AI has been useful and, you know, good for the environment here, but I will say Tien's also just playing this really smart.
Yeah,
I think he's playing this very intelligently. So props to Tien. Maybe we get some Yorick jungle. Hey, it has a 55% win rate right now. So
don't you put that thought into people's brains, man.
We were talking about his jungle pool already. So
we were,
and we said that jungle was going to be very important.
But I think the more important thing is blue side, because then if Weibo win, then they really can pick whatever they want with B1, with all the meta choices.
If we see B1 Yorick, I think we've already gone down.
we've lost the plot, you know.
Yeah. Ring of Fire in a minute. So
oh my God!
Look at how much damage this does.
Wait. No way.
You can't do it on this wave. I mean, yeah. Hoya literally presses ultimate. He one-shots the minion wave, and then Tien's just standing there like, all right, well, I just die for free. Cool.
I mean, he did so much damage to that turret, though. Oh my God. Hoya did stop his back there. I don't know if he can do it again. It does.
Yeah, there's still time. Still 30 seconds. Plus, he's also gonna have the quote-unquote from Lennon, the Ring of Fire contraction that is completely random. Definitely not scripted.
Yep, absolutely, definitely not scripted. Definitely isn't a set time for sure.
Yeah, I think Tien does recognize he has to stay for this wave though, because Hoya with finished Blade of the Ruin King plus the attack speed passive.
Oh wait,
gonna do a lot of
damage.
damage.
If he loses the maiden, that's gonna be tough. Doesn't he? unless the cooldown's already back up, but I don't think it would be, right?
No, I don't think it starts until
It doesn't start until it goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
This is tough. You gotta get it back off. Are they just not gonna back? He has so much gold.
Yes, 3,000 gold.
Tien!
Look, he can see it in the player cam. He's like,
Tien!
God damn it.
Tien!
Okay, here we go.
Okay, well, he's just gonna go in the end. Yeah, it's literally Blade of the Rune King versus no item. Tien, what have you done? Hail of Arrows is gonna get the kill, and Tien just
with dropping down your turret far enough in front of you that you don't get hit by an empowered shock blast.
In theory, the way that I see this going, is Knight can poke out the Heimerdinger turrets. It's on Flandre to not stack them so that the accelerated shock blast doesn't actually get all of them. But it should be hard for Knight to go all in. It's going to be on this Jace to kind of whittle away at his opponent and then go for a single fight where he just hammer stances, flies in, and kills the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, it's a large amount of damage as we've seen many Jaces come through. The players are probably more content to play that because, well, you don't really get to play it that often when it comes to the actual games. That thing is banned most of the time. So we'll see what he's able to do here if Flandre runs himself out of mana and maybe gives Knight an opportunity somewhere.
Okay. It's going to be quite boring, everybody. Go ahead and, if you want, keep your headset on, walk around your house, get some water. I've already got the water jug in hand. So
I got 3 bottles myself.
Bro, you don't have a chug jug?
I do not have a chug jug. Unfortunately, I went to go pick it up and then I got knocked, and I've been afraid of chug jugs ever since. I can't remember the last time I played Fortnite.
Okay, like, is it is it like the plastic bottles or like what's going on? Like,
these are plastic bottles.
Bruh. Not good for the environment, Yanni.
No, not very good
Minus
for the
1 going.
environment at all. You know what? Honestly, I do deserve to be slandered for that. I will accept.
It's not slander, because
any and
slander would
all.
be me doing something wrong. That would mean putting false information out there.
Okay, that's true. Yes. I accept the fact that I am very, very bad for not having the big chug jug. Listen, I had a nice nice stainless steel one that I got from my job, and I accidentally left it in my car for too many days and I had to throw it out. I made a big mistake there. I had some really cool anime stickers on it too. I was so sad.
Okay, Yanni, I think this is the only time during the series and on the show where we're going to be allowed to talk about this segment. So, have you been able to play Dragonstorm recently? Have you been able to draft?
So, I have not drafted.
Okay.
I was originally going to go pre-release Dragonstorm.
Yeah. For everybody at
however,
home, we're talking about Magic the Gathering.
Yes, we're both avid Magic the Gathering fans. But what me and my buddies did is we actually grabbed the Commander decks, the Precon Commander decks, and decided to play them because we play pretty high power Commander on Friday nights. So it's a nice change of pace. And man, these decks are great. This set is awesome. I bought a collector booster box when I really told myself I wasn't going to. The Wizards got me again, man.
Dude, I'm trying to find a collector's booster box.
Are you actually?
And yes.
Oh,
they are.
I forgot. You're north of the border. If you want,
yeah.
Contact me after this. I got you.
I can't find them. Literally everywhere I'm looking, they're like, we don't know if we have them, and we don't know when we're going to restock with them. So
that's a conversation you and I can have later. I got you.
Yes, we can have that. Thank you to a certain world leader for the tariffs. But I think we're just getting kind of the most boring 1v1. We might just continue talking about Magic at this point because it's Heimerdinger, dog. We're waiting for the Ring of Fire.
Honestly, bro, I'm looking over at my my Mox Ruby I have on my desk, and I'm like, dude,
I hate you.
I want to talk about Magic so badly. Listen.
So okay, did you crack your collector boost box already?
I did. Yes, this was on Friday.
Okay. So what were the hits? What did we get?
Oh man, there were not that many hits. I did get a regular Elspeth though. So those who don't know, token doublers, really awesome in Magic. Definitely good. I hit the 7 mana Sultai board wipe in the Japanese Halo foil, which was super sick.
Hey, to the guy that's posting in chat, you got collector boxes? Mods, can we time this guy out? Mods, round them up! Anybody who says they got collector boxes and try to flex on me, Get him out.
Oh, you own.
Okay.
Oh, you own an LGS. Oh, that's really, really cool. It's because he owns an LGS. It's
Oh,
you know, that's
all right. Never mind. Hey, wait. You got an LGS? Hey, you shipped to Canada? Mods, get me in contact with this guy. Untime him out right now.
Bring him back. Bring him back.
Take him off the
Yes.
gallows this instant.
We'll take a second to refocus here just for a minute as they finish their first items. Maul of Malmortius to Leandries. All right, we can go back to talking about Magic.
It's a local game store. Sorry, I'm telling
Oh,
Kai because Kai's
yes.
asking what an LGS means.
Yes.
I you know, we saw some of the a very similar matchup with the Jace being able to pick up an early Maul Memortius, so did make a pretty big difference in that matchup. We'll see if it ends up being the same here, but Flandre does have the Leandries, which as long as he's attacking a minion wave, he'll have a lot of bonus combat power available to him.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to utilize that combat power effectively. Should be able to. You know, it is Heimerdinger. It's not too hard to get some damage down, but you know, luckily we're not dealing with the 100 CS finish anymore. Very happy that that's out the window. As you know, now the players are just incentivized to use it to farm up, and Knight is incentivized to just go in. He burns the Ignite. Flandre,
he's getting
dropping
owned.
all the turrets. Oh my God, he's being rifled down, and Flandre will pick up the first kill.
He missed an auto attack, or I think he threw his accelerated shock blast at blowing up the one of the turrets, so kind of chunked some of his damage there. He's going to lose on the Ignite, same thing for Flandre, but he does still have access to the barrier. A lot of gold now in Flandre's back pocket here after getting that kill. Should be able to afford at least an item and a half here. Finishing his boots should be able to pick up a bit more.
Giant
It's
spell?
also getting a... Oh, please don't tell me it's a
Oh,
real
no.
giant spell. Please, put it back. Hey, look! Yeah. Tame is literally microing him, being like, nope, buy this one. Buy these items, brother. Okay, here we
listen,
go.
it's gonna be
1,300 buys
important.
another Haunting, guys. Thank you, Tabe, for fixing the build.
Listen, blue side is going to matter a lot in this matchup. Like, let's be honest with ourselves, because you know, any advantage that you can squeeze out, especially if you're anyone's legend. I mean, you know, we talked about it a little bit. Perceived underdogs, but by how much is the question? It turns out a blue side differential could be what turns the table.
That's true. You know, side selection has been a large part of the game. Now it's kind of gamified, considering we do have the 1v1s for them, but blue side being very influential for how many very strong champions there are. So it'll be interesting to see what we get here. The Ring of Fire is concluding here. It is starting to constrict. So I do favor Flandre if this goes long.
Yeah, he did take a bit of a rough shock blast there, but it's time for Knight to maybe go in, just trying to wait for it to get a little closer, trying to maybe smack him into the ring here. Barrier up for Flandre. The Ignites are coming back, so this could be big. Nice sidestep. All right.
Okay.
The walls are closing in Ulk.
Wait, Flandre has no turrets. Wait, he low-key kind of, he can lose this.
Hold on. He put the big turret down. He gets slammed on. Oh, it's so close. And Flandre burns away. Good call, Alk.
True. But we are on to the ARAM map for this 1v1 side select between AL and FPX. It is Tarzan versus Sheer, Yorick versus Jace. First turret, first to 2 kills, or during the Ring of Fire, first kill is the winner. And will absolutely select blue side.
And not 100 CS. Keep that one in mind, too.
Not 100 CS.
Nope. That's not going to happen.
It's not allowed.
We want blood. And not for the minions. They only matter for the gold.
You know, it's so funny to me. I always think of the first buys for champions, even on Summoner's Rift, as like RPG inventories. And right now, Tarzan actually has like a pretty good RPG inventory.
What makes you say that, Mazel?
Because he's got like a vest, he's got a shield and a sword. Like that's like a classic adventurer status. Whereas I don't know how Sheer is running around with 3 swords. Zoro status for any One Piece
this must
believers.
be an old school RPG, you know, because what you have in the inventory does not
Doesn't
impact-
matter. You just
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
you could have
be
an
a very old
elephant in there. It
RPG.
wouldn't even matter.
Wow. Both of them opting to go for the refillable potions, so we'll be opening those up.
So we'll be chilling.
Yeah. Again, think Tarzan really going to need steel caps in this matchup, and just kind of curious to see where he goes from there. As, of course, getting these creeps. Going to get some potential summons going up against Jace. Looks Looks like he's got 4 available, so we'll see if Tarzan's able to bring any out and hit the E going up against Jace.
Is that that's the cat Yorick skin, right? But just with like
I'm
the
not sure.
the chroma.
Yeah, with the panic chroma. I think that's the move. I mean, he's repping the team mascot if that's the case.
You're right.
Look at him.
Oh my God, super powered. Look at all those little pandas.
Dude, the
Oh,
mascot's
God.
attacking Sheer.
Okay, well,
Is this sanctioned? Is this wrestling?
I think this is officially the skin that all of AL have to use if they play it. Sorry,
Yeah.
you're gonna be fined for not playing that skin, Flandre.
I now found out why Tarzan played the 1v1 instead of Flandre.
This was the reason.
He's showing that he is more patriotic towards his team than Flandre, who was not
Dude,
rocking
the fact
those
that
guys.
it's literally just pandas is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Team mascot, baby.
Probably one of the best team mascots. Whenever they switched over from Rogue Warriors to Anyone's Legend, like, it's cool that it kind of kept the theming of like fighting and keep kind of that like legendary status, and you know, the panda fits well. There's the big panda. Oh my God, look at that kitty.
Of course, when you get the big panda out, it's like having 3 evolutions of Pokemon out on the map.
Who's the middle evolution? There's not
The maiden.
it's just
The
goes
maiden
straight.
is the Yorick's the big one.
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. I viewed Yorick as the Pokemon trainer, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Tarzan actually did a
He
decent
is
job
one.
of sustaining himself back up here. As, again, one of the positives about this matchup versus Jace. Always going to take poke versus Jace. Yorick has a way to get through that one. Like
The main's
really wants to
important
get his
here.
wave in.
You got to make sure. I know it's a long way away, but you got to make sure you have the maiden at least up for the Ring of Fire. See if she wants to take this one out a little early, take away some of the damage potential of Tarzan. The 1v1. All this
down.
for the maiden. I don't know if it was worth it. The flash coming through from Sheer, the barrier from Tarzan to block some of the turret shot.
I mean, nice from Tarzan. He actually sustains himself out of this one now. And is going to get the back second. Sheer has to be sent back. We'll have no summoner spells. And something that we can see Tarzan potentially punish.
Ooh, he's got the demolish too. Oh my God. He's going to get so much money. All right. Well, Tarzan sustaining pretty well in this one. Has a lot of gold to spend, but pretty darn even with Sheer in the totality of things. That extra gold going his way, though, with that plate going down. See if Sheer can get a response of his own here. It's definitely feeling like a Ring of Fire fight coming through.
Let's see if the maiden's up in time, as that is a long cooldown. Sheer, of course, getting another plate to himself. And this looks like he's going for that Black Cleaver to deal with the armor that Tarzan was likely to have in his inventory, as it was a steel cap start for him. No surprise there.
He just stutter stepped like 6 times right there. Love that. Tarzan's having a great time on this Yorick.
Little emote spam, you know. Got to fit it in there. He's rocking the team mascot. How dare he not put some moves on the rip, too? That's like not even trying as a mascot.
Go Pandas! Pandas are so... Oh, God, they didn't know where to go. They just got diffed by minions. And that's shocking.
He's still fitting him in.
Dude, he's
Oh
having
my
so
goodness.
much fun, man. He's having so much fun. That's actually incredible. That is actually incredible. So if we do end up getting the Ring of Fire fight, we have phages completed for both of them. We're potentially looking at those first items being completed for that. Who wins in that 1v1, do you think?
Maiden's going to be up, so I'll take the Maiden. And Yorick, actually. Level 11, really big.
50
for
seconds.
Yorick. Yeah, I'm going to go with Yorick here. I actually don't know how Jace gets through this. Yorick is going to have everything up and available to himself, so...
Honestly,
Tarzan
Sheer
just
should
gets
start
on
backing
base.
right now.
Yeah. Like,
Just make sure no problems arise. Make sure you don't get caught in the flames.
level 11 hit. He's not going to pop the Maiden now. It's going to be Sheer. Oh, wait, he did pop it.
Oh.
There's no flash on Sheer still.
Yeah, going to try to get as much damage in as he can before the back comes through. 20 seconds until that'll be spawning as the Ring of Fire comes through. Oh, God. Don't give up the Maiden. Oh, no. Okay, well, Tarzan is going to lose the Maiden right before the fight. That's a bit unfortunate.
That changes things a little bit. I'm
Also
actually
really needs to get back.
I don't want to say I'm unsure now. I think it's pretty Jace favored. Tarzan might have a level on him, but no barrier either. You got flash up and no maiden. I mean, if Jace is ever going to win something against Yorick, it's got to be with those conditions, no?
Let's
Oh, he
go,
went clear.
Sheer!
Okay.
He moved out. Let's go! Let's go! Sheer didn't die. That's huge. Good job. That's character growth, man. That's like the anime arc everybody's waiting for in the LPL. But now we're about to get to our second iteration of that anime arc. Tarzan versus Sheer in an all-out 1v1. Same items except for a Doran shield for Tarzan.
Level 12 for Tarzan, but no maiden's going to really hurt here.
Yeah, I don't know how he
Fish
fights.
for an E, maybe.
I mean, he's waiting. He's keeping some of those graves up for
Might get
himself.
hammered out.
There's a massive minion wave here. The minions are actually going to do so much work for Sheer. Sheer buying a lot of time. Here come the minions. The pandas. Is the namesake of anyone's legend going to be enough? I don't think so. Sheer going for the shots, and that should be enough.
Oh.
No! Tarzan! He's using the bush. That was so masterful. Sheer is dying to the pandas. Sheer! He's down! Tarzan's having fun with it, and the pandas come out victorious. Look at him!
Well, we're definitely going to be seeing some supreme displays of talent, regardless how Cream decides to use that Qiyana ultimate as we get out on to good old-fashioned Howling Abyss. And I see a snowball pick for the Shy, so at least he couldn't keep his hands off getting a little creative, even if he did pick one of the most picked 1v1 champions so far in the LPL, the Jace. He's got the snowball.
Absolutely. Hey, he wants to go in, and to be fair, up against the Qiyana with all of that invisibility that she can bring, it makes sense. You just don't want to be running around looking for her. If you can close the distance very quickly on, it's going to make these 1v1s a lot easier. Of course, the actual picking up all of the CS, 100 CS, no longer going to be one of the criteria for winning out on these 1v1s. Does he go already? Yes, go the Shy.
Oh my god. Well, we talked about how using the brush to cancel out on a lot of those Jace autos. Luckily, Qiyana has her passive form to try and do that, but Cream is not finding a lot of success early on here, but Qiyana has to go in. There's no real option. Immediately drops the Ignite. The barrier does not buy the Shy enough space, and Cream just drops him to find the first kill.
This is the thing with taking the snowball and going in straight away. You're not really using the Jace to the biggest advantage you can. The thing with the Jace is that you get to poke your opponent down really low first and then go in later on. I can understand wanting to go for that initial fight pre-level 6, but I still just don't think he was able to get Cream low enough to really make that 1v1 make sense for him.
So what I'm hearing is the Shy might already be cooked. In this
Well,
1v1.
in this game, potentially, but to be fair, we have seen plenty of these 1v1s end with the first kill going to one side, but the tower being picked up over on the other side. The Shy's going to have a lot of an easier time picking up the towers, and they are very squishy in this mode. So it's not necessarily over for him, but he has certainly made it a lot harder. Look at the item disadvantage he's in right now.
I was going to say, I admire your optimism here, Bloxer, because I think when Scream ticks over to level 6, the Shy might go flying. If you thought Cream did a lot of damage with Qiyana in the first kill, you're about to see something, folks.
Yeah, I mean, this is really going to suck. Being down a pickaxe and an extra longsword hurts so bad right here, especially for a champion like the Qiyana, exactly, who can just utilize all of that raw damage straight up. And you can see the Shy all of a sudden having to play way more respectful.
Yep, saw it take over to level 6. Doesn't want to get close to any of those walls, but takes the snowball in. Cream throws down the supreme display of talent. Hammer stance, will it be enough for Cream to fall? The Shy will be able to dodge the Q, and he finds himself a kill out of nowhere.
Oh, look at Cream. He knew he had him right there. He had that 1v1 picked up. That would have been one of the quickest 1v1s we would have seen here in the LPL. Instead, Shy actually going to be able to grab another turret plate for himself, head back to base. And yeah, as much as you are a little bit cooked being down that much in item, with the fancy feat, with the ability to dodge that one out, and just the raw damage that Jace can still do at an item disadvantage, I like it. This is fun.
One advantage for Cream is he does get the barrier and the Ignite back up. So adds a bit of extra burst ability and obviously peel with that barrier. But yeah, I think we're going to unfortunately slow down. I was a fan of seeing if we could get the quickest 1v1 as much as I'm anticipating this matchup on the rift between our two teams, but gotta think the Cream just waits to get that ultimate back up before trying to really do anything.
I was very surprised to see the Shy jump so close to the wall for himself. Usually,
Exactly, yeah.
in the Howling Abyss map, it's much easier to avoid getting hit by that ulti. He brought himself right into it.
See if he considers that mistake the next time he decides to take that snowball. I feel like the snowball is the same funny rule as Lee Sin Qs, you know, like you're baited into thinking you have to take it when you land the Sonic Wave. Hold on, though. The Shy's going all out right now and has a huge health advantage. Cream does not have any way out. Burns the barrier. The speed up, the heal will buy Cream just enough space. He'll be able to get that reset through and come back fully healthy, but the Shy is looking menacing.
And he's going to lose a ton of health right here off of his tower. In fact, I wonder how low the Shy's are actually going to be able to pick this one up. They're very, very squishy at the moment. Going to be dealing big damage. You can see Cream slowly having to get himself back a ton of the health. He's not going to fully lose his tower, of course, but that's more plating. He's getting so much less of an advantage. That first kill really should have secured Cream this 1v1, as we were saying, but all of a sudden, the Shy straight back into this one and is going to come back now in the advantage. He's got that Black Cleaver completed.
Ooh, I'm just relieved that this awesome 1v1 isn't ending with a turret take, because I'm with you. I think the Shy, if he tried to like min-max it, he might have actually nearly dropped that
might have been able to take it, yeah.
Instead, he has a Black Cleaver.
Under the tower, grab it. Yeah, this is a much more the Shy way to be able to actually pick this one up. And now with that little bit of armor as well, it's going to be so tricky for Cream to be able to pick up this kill. The Shy just has to bide his time a little bit. Hopefully land a snowball, go in. There's no barrier available for Cream right now. Does have the ignite though, so it's not going to be the easiest of all kills.
Looks like, wonder if Cream got just enough for the Eclipse. Yeah, okay, so figure I need a match, legendary item for legendary item. We're not close to the Ring of Fire coming in just yet, so wow, okay. Yeah, we've turned this into reset wars.
Yeah, this is the most recalls I think I've seen during one of these. Usually you get one, maybe two if everybody's cooking. But you can see right here, gonna come back to the lane with a pot and even more armor right now. Just they're really min-maxing about their item advantages at the moment. The Shy very much going to be in the lead. The thing is, Cream, does he want to go back again? Stop it. No.
Not again, guys. Come on. All right. Well.
Please.
Oh. Okay. I was going to say, I don't know how much of a reset timer we really have anymore, Cream.
Yeah.
Ring of Fire's in about 25 seconds, so I don't think anybody's going to get any stronger. Potion pop for the Shy. I think that means go time.
Yeah, this should mean fight. Let's see these two actually scrap it out. It was exceptionally exciting right at the very beginning. It has slowed down just a little bit at this point. These are the items you're going to have to fight with, like you said, 10 seconds now until that Ring of Fire is going to force a fight. For the minute, though, the Shy just going to be looking to land as much poke as possible. Yep. That's where the advantage is really going to come from.
Qiyana, a champion that just could turn any sort of stance on its head in an instant. Like you called out the Shy, you want to poke down more with those shock blasts first. Hasn't been able to find a ton of success just yet, but he has to mind every single wall near him in this thin corridor as the Ring of Fire begins to crawl its way in.
Right, how's the bush tech for both of these? It's not going to be a tower kill that's going to end this one up. We are actually going to get to see some kills. We're going to get to see some fighting.
Oh, there's the ultimate. No stun lands.
Oh,
that's going to cut down all of Cream's combo. The Shy just runs this now. The ult doesn't land. There is no talent supremely being displayed. But Cream is definitely making it a bit treacherous. Using the Invis pretty well. But the double auto comes across for the Shy. The bush tech, will it be enough? The Shy might just go into the hammer stance. Doesn't have the snowball. But guys, the walls are closing in. Shock Blast does not land. But does he have the autos? He does! The Shy gets blue side for Invictus Gaming.
International events, right? So hopefully, as you said, they right the ship and get this man to MSI to try to win his 4th MSI title. But that is still a long way away. I have not packed for the trip yet or anything like that. So I'm not too worried about it right now.
Yeah, at the moment, looks like CARE, he's packing the butcher skin. As he's going to go to work on the Super Galaxy Rumble. Yeah, he's got the meats. We'll see if he's got the axes to boot. As this 1v1 going to be very Rumble favored early on. As CARE is going to have trouble getting access to those axes. And those harpoons going to be really nice for trying to kite things out and keep Olaf where he is before level 6 comes in.
This could be the only time we see a Rumble in the series. Champion has been banned pretty often. Not something that is too crazy to come out of like Breathe or Sheer, so who knows? Maybe the teams won't ban it. Just give it to one of them. But you know, you can see the power of him in a strict 1v1, and you know, regardless if it was a an Olaf or a more meta top laner, Rumble will still do this to you.
Yeah, getting the push in those early waves. As at least when Olaf goes, though, he does have access to that bonus attack speed. But again, I don't think CARE pre-6 can really do much here against XIAOHU, who is going to continue with these levels to push up, force CARE off, and force CARE to hopefully miss some XP, as that's the likely goal here, as utilizing that Strength of Rumble to push Olaf around early, who really needs 6 to function in this matchup yet again.
Yeah, for those who may not notice at the bottom of the screen, the 1v1s have changed compared to Split 1. There's no 100 CS anymore. If you've not been paying too much attention to 1v1s, the Knight gets dropped down, but a barrier in response. So, you know, what you're getting out of denying the CS here is just denying the extra gold that CARE can get for that first back. And one thing that I learned recently is that the first back is empowered, apparently.
Hey, get to go fast, back to base, try and catch these minions on the way back. CARE keeping this wave in front of him. Will be nice before 6. Of course, XIAOHU will ding 6 first. But CARE keeping this wave close enough, at least has access to the XP, will not drop any, will match 6. And now just curious what the first base ends up being. I gotta believe that we're gonna see Olaf rock a Hex Drinker here, Yanni, as he's dealing with this Rumble, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah. You think he's gonna go into boots at all? You know, I see some going to boots, right? I mean, for Olaf specifically, you get to be a little bit more sticky at that point. You know, when you pop your Ragnarok, obviously Ragnarok is really just gonna help you against the slows of the tasers, and obviously everything else you get with it. But you know, we'll see what the move is for CARE. See what he wants to do. As,
see, if I'm XIAOHU, I definitely want to grab boots, just to try and kite out this Olaf and avoid those 1v1s. So I almost feel like Olaf has to grab boots just to match and try and keep up with Rumble. So likely to be the case. Still, Hex Drinkers where you're gonna get a lot of that value, and a lot of that money can go, as CARE's been doing a decent job of sidestepping a couple of these harpoons.
Oh,
and
you good, brother?
He's going to be playing for the wave here. He's down a little bit in CS. CARE's absorbing more. Doing a decent job here.
Yeah, you know, XIAOHU has been dropping a lot of CS. We see Ignite on. The undertows are there to slow him up. CARE trying to catch up. Maybe 1 or 2 more undertows, but he did see the power of the slows. Wait a minute. CARE does not have flash available. He did not pick it. XIAOHU will burn hits.
Good find there from CARE. Going to be able to absorb most of this wave and get the next one in. Important for him. So base priority. CARE will be up on the first base. And of course, tease the XIAOHU could potentially grab those sneakers in order to try and kite out this Olaf. Just going to get the base kit. Not going to upgrade those anytime soon.
I saw somebody with an empowered recall the other day. Well, how did they do that? They did not have symbiotic souls.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's taking a plate or a certain timer in the game.
Am I crazy?
Oh, you were not crazy. I saw that as well. Maybe it's first blood. Maybe you need that.
You know what? That sounds right. That sounds beneficial. You know, I wish I could read all the rules for this, but honestly, I don't really have them on hand. Oh, maybe talk for a little bit. I want to go take a look at see if the rules show up.
We're gonna buy some time here. See if Yanni can.
Okay, so the rules don't show up on 1v1 side selection.
We need the empowered recall rules. You know, that's what Yanni needs on the custom ARAM map that encourages these 1v1s as we decide side select and LPL the fun way.
I'm peeking at the Leakpedia here, and
it's a work in progress. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, you know, I don't see anything about that. So you know, I'll have to find the conditions. Have to go back, look at the archives. Perhaps the archives are incomplete. You know, what's not incomplete is this Hex Drinker.
Pretty nice there for CARE, the fact that he was able to queue that wave with the Hex Drinker and the Caulfield's Warhammer and just delete it. Of course, level 10, so has max points into the queue. And
he takes a lot of damage. That taser did much more than I thought it was going to do.
Yeah. So if he's able to hit the wave, it does have access to some sustain, and his passive that will only get better as he goes lower. If he's able to delete the back wave like this, that's, again, at least he can use that to, you know, maybe set something up later on. At least he's getting his CS and not getting pushed off by Rumble, as he's going to look for another reset. Could help with wrapping up that Maw and having it for this upcoming fight.
47 seconds until the Ring of Fire begins to move in.
At top right on your screen.
Yep, once the Ring of Fire moves in, it is the first kill. So we will see some fireworks soon. XIAOHU probably going to wait for his flash to come up before anything. Care. Both summoners up, no flash, but hopefully no problem, at least he's hoping. As Maul by Mortius has been completed, we get yet another Null Magic Mantle, and you know, hopefully we don't have a scenario where a player backs while the Ring of Fire is moving.
There is a chance that Care could base again with plate money. As he's got 10 seconds, so yeah, could try and sneak his way back in. Ring of Fire to take a little bit to get going. So will be a better buy here for Care. If he's able to sneak back, will be stopped by XIAOHU.
Yeah, he's got to stay now because that ring is
ring's
out.
up.
So good on XIAOHU. He's got his first completed item as well. Looking to at least take the health relic, cause some problems here. Equalizer going to go down. He wants to fight on top of it. Burning and burning and burning. His Care is down to half HP. The heal cuts there too. He's overheated, but Care getting some pretty big shields. It's going to be close, and I think it's going to be Care taking it. Wins the 1v1.
Thank you, Tarzan, for making us jungle mains look good out there on the Howling Abyss. As we take to it once again between SETAB and Rookie. This is for side select, and if you haven't seen one of these before, well, welcome. Win conditions as blocks are outlined. First to tower, destruction. First to 2 kills before Ring of Fire, or first to kill in the Ring of Fire. And that means even if you got a kill previously, it doesn't matter. Once the Ring of Fire is active, it is last man standing.
Absolutely. 5 minutes for the Ring of Fire to begin closing in, and as a part of those rules, 100 CS no longer is going to bring you that victory, so we have removed what was easily the worst of all of the win conditions. That one was always quite boring to watch somebody play for. Now we just get to see as much scrapping as possible. Like I said, we are going to be seeing this one up against Zed, Jace. Really interesting as a matchup, something that we could potentially see mid lane during the actual series if either of these two want to get really insane. I'd be surprised. I would be very surprised if that is the case. As you can see, Rookie using that poke really effectively right now, trying to just chunk SETAB down.
Yeah, I don't believe SETAB has pulled out Zed in a competitive match yet. I know Saber has pulled out a couple Zed games over on Ultra Prime. One of them was really pog. The other, not so pog. But it's okay. Yeah. You know what? I still appreciate that we're getting, you know, Zed being shown more on Summoner's Rift. I think he definitely does have a place in the competitive meta. I think he really works well against Talia. And Talia has been, by far and away, one of our most contested mid lane champions.
It really has been. Any of these very aggressive assassins can work great. I think Zed's always sort of hovering on the realms of possibility for these mid lane pickups, just because we do have so many of these safe champions who usually could just sit there, kind of do nothing. Rookie going all in here. Hang on, does he just get this kill? Yes. Wow, okay.
Does. And Rookie should be able to dodge the last bit of turret aggro, forcing that first kill onto SETAB. Rookie should have enough time to clear out this wave. Actually just going to go for a turret play first. He is getting very low in HP.
Yeah,
but
don't
because
die to the minions.
SETAB's death timer is long enough that Rookie has plenty of time to get all of this accounted for and get a fat back with that amount of cash.
Yeah, with the kill also getting that empowered recall, so going to be able to come back to the lane nice and quickly. Tons.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I mean, this tower's also pretty low. As much as we said it would be nice to not see it be a tower kill that goes down, with this tower already chunked to half, and the towers being so squishy in this mode of the 1v1s, it's looking like that could also be a possibility. You could see after that solo kill went down, SETAB looked so just... like, what do I do? You know, he was really laughing about it. That is the thing with the Jace. Straight under your tower, the second you get chunked, you can just get all in. And we see it once again. That's half of SETAB's HP just gone. And the item disadvantage is also huge at this point.
I mean, I appreciate that SETAB is trying to go combat for combat, blow for blow, but this is just a losing 1v1 at this point. You know what?
Exactly the same starting items, exactly the same runes, and summoner spells. This is going to be the truest of the mirror matchups.
With Ignite and Barrier, doesn't seem the most optimal to go something like a Ravenous Hydra. I mean, like when I had some experience top lane back in the day, you know, Ravenous Hydra was like the peak item, which just really shows my age and also goes to show how long it was ago before I, you know, put a lot of time into that role before I just swapped to the jungle and said, you know what? I don't need to have hands anymore. I can just try to play the map game instead.
Jungle supremacy. You are correct in that one. It is the best lane to be playing. Although, yeah, not quite gonna be what we're looking at here. I mean, jungle Renekton hasn't been a thing really ever. You're gonna see Bin get a good trade right there actually onto Arla, doing good damage right now. And in this matchup specifically, getting the push off is gonna be huge. Because you can do that, but also because it's going to allow you so much more control over the relic, both your own and your opponents, keep your health that much higher. In these kind of mirror matchups, the health really is everything. It's the difference maker right here.
Yeah, I mean, Bin has been super smooth on the animation canceling of his ability so far, just being able to quickly weave in chip damage here and there, get combos in and out before Ala has a chance to really respond. And because Bin was able to get the first shove and the first level lead, Ala is now on the back foot, taking so much damage, and this just puts Bin at least in an advantageous spot in terms of controlling the lane. We'll see if Bin can leverage that into pushing Ala out early and get Bin some extra turret plates for his work here.
Yeah, and as much as these 1v1s are funny, are memeable, actually straight in goes Ala, away goes Bin. He doesn't want this one. He's got much less rage stacked up. Yeah, just gonna have to run away. These 1v1s, they're memeable, they're funny, but they do really matter. Blue side is huge at the moment in the meta. Everybody would like to have it. Getting that game 1 side select is massive for yourself. It means if it goes to a game 3, you are going to have side select twice as well. Arla going to pop this ulti instantly, gets 6 first. Bin responds.
Ignite already used by Ala.
Ooh.
Bin. Both Dominuses used. But because there's no flash, Ala would have to get a double slice and dice into an empowered W stun. And Bin might have overplayed his hand there. Ala, the fact that he was able to get level 6 first, and Bin walks in trying to get level 6 off the wave as fast as possible, just gave Ala too much of a window to be the aggressor on the trade.
Exactly. Ala not going to be able to cash that in into picking up any tower plates. Is going to go back to base with pretty much the exact same amount of gold. So it should be the exact same buy as well. Actually interesting right here. Bin decides to go for more damage, picks himself up the coal fields, whereas it's going to be those plated steel caps right now for Ala. And he's going a little bit more on the mobility, on the movement speed, and just stopping Bin from being able to do as much damage. I like this.
So Bin gets more ability rotations. Ala, slightly more durable, slightly faster.
I like it. I think in this situation, I would prefer to have the steel caps, especially because we saw during those previous fights, there were a couple situations where Ala was walking at Bin, but he was just slightly out of range. He wasn't quite able to pick himself up the damage that he wanted to. Now it's going to be so much easier to keep up, especially because it's not just empowered boots versus regular. This is no boots right here. It's a big movement speed advantage.
And Ala's taking a much more aggressive position on the wave here, whereas Bin is trying to kill all of the minions as fast as possible. So now that Ala forced to sidestep back in the brush to dodge the minion aggro, but Ala now trying to put the pressure on the Bin. There's still a health relic that they can go for, but the Ignite forces the barrier.
Ala's going to dive
under the tower. He believes that he can kill him, but the Ignite is not enough. Bin survives, and now Ala is down. Both summoner spells. Dominus available at the ready. Bin was looking for that double slice and dice into the stun. Just not in range. Ala's popping the Dominus, but now Bin can go back in. It's a nice trade. Ala trying to look for that empowered Cole of the Meek for the sustain. Just forcing him back. One more auto.
Wait.
But Bin! Slice and dice. The superior Croc gets the first kill.
You can see Ala turning to his teammates going, so close, nearly had him, but that's going to be huge right here for Bin. He's going to be able to push this wave in underneath the tower as well, grab a chunk of turret plating. He's now going to be able to come back from this recall, empowered recall as well, in a nice advantage. See what he's actually able to pick up. Yep, it is going to be the Eclipse build. Wow, Ala is full in on the defensive stats right here. Going to grab himself an Executioners.
I can see the angle that Ala is trying to play for. More defensive stats, more ways to cut the sustain of Bin, but that for me always feels like it's more favored to go that route when you are naturally ahead, because then you just rely on your base stats to do the damage for you. But going this route, you don't have nearly as much damage as Bin. A full Eclipse picked up, and it's not like he doesn't have defensive stats either now, because he picked up a Bramble Vest. So now the sustain cut equally by both of these items.
Yeah, it's very much just going to be about the extra movement speed that ALE has, and if he's going to be able to use that to space to his advantage. Barrier, Ignite, very close to being back up for both of these champions. The ulti's a little bit further away, although they both use them at pretty much the same time, so there's not really going to be any advantage or disadvantage there. We've still got 40 seconds until the Ring of Fire begins to close in, but once it does, that means that that initial kill that Bing gets is only good for the gold it grabbed him. It doesn't actually mean he's any closer to winning, it's just the next kill that completes it.
Yeah. ALE, ideally for himself, wants to get a chance to get one more base off.
Yeah.
And maximize the amount of gold that he can spend. Oh, man. Bin just has the freedom to do trades like that to ALE under tower while still, you know, was 2 levels above, now just 1. Oh, this is such a scary crocodile that Bin has built up for himself.
With this Eclipse as well, every time he goes in, it's just the Eclipse shield that's taking the first tower shot. You see it here again. It's just the shield every single time. So he's not actually losing any health over time by taking these constant trades in, whereas ALE getting chunked down more and more. He's getting very close to being one-shottable if he doesn't manage to dodge away from those slice and dices. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe ALE can pull this one back. He does now have the Barrier, the Ignite, and the Dominus, both of them available.
Well, if ALE wanted to get a base in, that moment has passed.
Yep.
He's gonna get a chance to at least heal off this health relic, and thankfully Bin was already topped off, so he's not giving anything over to Bin, but it's level 12 versus level 11. Eclipse and Bramble versus steel-plated caps and executioners in the difference. And Bin still has 2 refillable pot charges. Dominus popped by both players, but ALE significantly down in HP. You can only imagine who the victor is going to be, and it is Giga Bin winning the side select for BLG. But there's something about like the neon light yellow green that I like. I don't know. It's subjective, right?
Rafa wants to be a highlighter, you know? It's fine.
You know, the highlight pastel colors are just, you know, doing something for me, especially since I have a like a darker tan complexion. Like lighter colors go well with my skin. So
there we go.
Anyway, for anyone who is tuning in for the first time, just letting you all know, this is a 1v1 for side select purposes. If you do win this, most of the teams have just been straight up taking blue side. I don't think we've ever seen a team take the first game into red side. There have definitely been teams like throughout the series that have gone for red side afterwards intentionally. But the way to win this 1v1, it's first to 2 kills, first kill in the Ring of Fire, or first tower. And we just might get one of those first kills. Jeez, DOINB just laying down the hammer and saying, yeah, man, I'm the Pantheon main for a reason.
Yeah, DOINB started with the empowered Q. TAEYOON started with the empowered W. Yes, he got more stacks up, but DOINB had a little bit of a bigger wave, retreated back into it, and got those stacks back around to throw another empowered Q. Take the kill, Rafa. And, I mean, what mental damage being sent already to have Pantheon locked in? Switch your champion to Pantheon, insta-lock it in, and kill them at level 4. And now, this 1v1's hard.
I think this is just a message saying, yeah, if you try to pick Pantheon, I'm gonna be better than you at it, you know?
I mean, this is like, I feel like this is Achilles versus Hector right now, you know? Except, there weren't 2 rounds of that fight. It went to Achilles.
Well, I'm not familiar with that Greek story, actually.
It's the movie Troy, Rafa. With Brad Pitt.
Is it okay? Oh,
you know the movie The Odyssey that Christopher Nolan's working on, and that legend.
See, like I know the Odyssey, but I never read the Iliad, so I don't know what actually happened at the Battle of Troy.
Yes, this would be the Battle of Troy. This would be the plot of Troy, and then of course the Odyssey kicks in right after the Iliad and Troy.
Hector's from Troy, right?
Yes.
So he's the Trojan.
We're spoiling a lot, but you know he went down to Achilles.
Listen, man, this story's been out for 2,000 years at this point. If you don't know it, you're sorry, bro. Like
uncultured.
We're getting spoiler warnings for shows that are out within the first hour that they debut on like streaming platforms. If you know.
Well, I'm not that mean. There's a 2-week rule, and this is well past the 2-week rule, which is your point.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You know, like the story is like more than 2,000 years old at this point. I don't even know like how far Greek empires went. It's been so long since I took a class about classical mythology, man.
Yeah, well, whenever I see Pantheon, I think of Achilles. And, you know, this is Achilles versus Hector. And DOINB just so happens to be Achilles.
That's crazy, because whenever I see Pantheon, I think of Kangas, you know? So, two sides of a coin, I guess.
Well, that's a pretty one-sided trade there. As TAEYON, we'll see if he gets dove. DOINB. Potential to really start pressing things. I think a dive here is scary with barrier up, but we'll see what DOINB's able to give us. This could just be a Ring of Fire and make sure that, you know, you take your item advantage in from there. Would not be surprised if that ends up being the case.
Yeah, overall Phage and a Ruby Crystal, so slightly tankier for DOINB while not necessarily sacrificing damage, whereas TAEYON went straight up for damage. I kind of agree with the point that TAEYON is at. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to get like a full all-in. DOINB is just
he got first blooded.
Quick chips and trades. Yeah.
Yeah, he got first blooded.
It's already a pretty hard position to be in. Now, TAEYON could try and sneak out as much gold on the next couple of ways as, you know, possible to look for an Eclipse Power Spike. I like it.
Oh, he stopped the base.
Wow, look at that. And TAEYON able to stop tempo on DOINB on his base, and now he's going to get a chance to compete for this next wave. And if he gets enough gold off of this cannon minion wave, he might have enough to purchase Eclipse, and he'll be in a fine spot to fight to the death in the Ring of Fire.
Yeah, actually going to be interesting because, of course, DOINB with that Phage was going for Black Cleaver. So now going to pick up some armor. That makes sense to me with the Pantheon. And we'll see if this cancels any bases. Nope, just going to kill the wave. Cannon secured.
It's just a level lead for DOINB. TAEYON is, like, not in the worst state possible.
Yeah, this is kind of curious, the Cleaver versus Eclipse, because, of course, Eclipse, you get that shield, nice little damage boost when you do connect that first auto, but Cleaver, Pantheon can stack it up so easily, and then you're just doing more damage now with the rest of the all-in. So I think in a long fight, it's still going to be advantage DOINB, even if Eclipse might be like the strongest first item you can have.
I mean, look at the shielding. He's already popped the barrier, but now DOINB pops his own barrier. Ignite trying to be used. It gets super close, and to TAEYON's credit, he fought pretty damn well, but DOINB is still the Pantheon master in this arena.
It is do or die for blue side, and now we have a 1v1 going at each other to decide who will choose blue side, because red side has never chosen. It is going to be the top laners, Hoya versus 369. We get to have a little bit of fun before we get into the serious action that is this heavyweight bout between TT and Top Esports.
Who gets to keep the continent?
Yeah, I get who gets to keep their T. Somebody loses a T if they lose this series, and there's two of them. I don't know how Top Esports will lose.
So Hoya can give it up then. Hoya, like TT's like, you know, like we got an extra one laying around. Like we can just be Thunder gaming.
Thunder game. Ooh, that's kind of banger. Okay, a little early trades. The early barrier. All right, from both sides. Hoya losing out on those trades though.
Yeah, and 369 still has the flash. Hoya will have the ignite, but 369 showing off some of that prowess. It has been a while since we've gotten Lucian in some of our solo lanes. I know.
True.
Oh, I know we had it during either Demacia Cup or Split 1. I'm just trying to. The name is eluding me as to who picked our Lucian solo lane. I think 369 wins this, by the way.
Flash from 369. Oh my God, he does dash away, so he's not gonna go for another double tap. It's going to be very dicey, though. Hoya wants to dash in to get the slice, but it's close. We're close to getting the first kill here.
I'm holding threes out, bro.
Who's backing?
Holding threes.
Who's backing? Who takes it? It's like chicken. Who backs?
It should just be Hoya. I mean, 369 doesn't have a lot of mana. It's one more minion. So you're going to be losing cannon. Oh, this might change it, though.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh!
No!
Oh, no! Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Hoya looks stunned. It is camera, by the way.
I mean, he hasn't been so good. He has not been cooking on some of these carries. Not in the 1v1, but also in game. So, not surprised to see him get clapped by 369.
369. Something I've noticed of him, he used to be super emotive. He used to be like super like the funny, laughing, always smiling kind of guy. That man's been a stone cold killer recently. Like in all these pop off, like he's been having some really good games recently. Some bad here or there. But in those pop-off moments, like, the man is just not making any faces. He's just taking people out one by one.
He's seen what Ben did to this league, and he's like, I gotta. Look,
He's like,
we still get look.
Okay,
so we
I
get
say
some.
that, and then
yeah,
he just gets the laugh.
Yeah, I would say that 369 has been at least a little emotive. You know, maybe not doing as much as maybe a player like Knight in some years past, but gonna be fun to watch here. I mean, 369 either has to get a single more kill, or we're just waiting for Ring of Fire here, Lennon. I don't think there's gonna be much here.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think so either. So what I'm realizing now is we're just watching a warm-up 1v1 between these two guys.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a traditional, like, they're just getting some extra screen time to play on stage. Oh, we got the all-in from Hoya with the needleworks, but I think he still loses.
Let's go!
Oh, my God, he's going! One more auto attack, 369, for, like, the first time this entire year might win before the Ring of Fire. Oh, it's not so close. 369, just go into the bush. Go into the bush, do it! Oh!
Oh! There's the, oh my God, the hollow miss. Really close margins there. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want to see 369 play this in Summoner's Rift now, because his mechanics are looking
They're pretty nasty.
quite sharp. I think some of them, we need some work. We had that flash earlier, and even there, I think there was some missed spells. But the fact that he's like instant canceling his culling, he's like almost perfectly weaving in auto attacks. I respect it, 369.
Kind of banger, kind of banger. We did get backs from both of them, so unfortunately Hoya will not fall, and I'm sure we're just going to farm our way up to that Ring of Fire setup now. We are not full item, at least for 369 just yet, but definitely getting a little bit closer. He's got a lot of pieces.
Oh, he's going for Blade of the Ruin King for a Satch.
Yeah. Does feel like he's been doing really good at getting good trades onto Hoya.
I mean, he just wins right here, right? Like, he can just go in, just keep him at range.
Culling.
Yeah. I'm kind of okay with this. His barrier is going to be on the same timer as Hoya's, both of Hoya's sums here, which could actually make a pretty big difference, because around that time he's also going to have access to the ultimate. So I think there's a very, very narrow window that Hoya could actually find a kill here against 369.
Am I thinking about it too deep that the coaches are fine with this because whoever wins this gets the mental advantage in lane in the actual games? Okay, 369 just dashed into Hoya's face. Gonna preemptively pop the barrier, looking for the kill. Here goes the flash, the dash, the kill, and that is it. A 2-kill spree for 369 to claim. Ready for the Ring of Fire. You can even start playing the song if you want. We can't do it because it's copyrighted, obviously, but if you want to, have fun with it. It's going to be Breathe versus Shanks, though, for the 1v1 side select. If you're wondering why we do this, it's to get blue side, because it's always blue side. Unless you're TT in game number 3. Okay. We just go the all-in? Okay, Breathe is just going to die. 1v1 status, barrier popped, and Shanks salute gets the first kill. I like it.
Well, now he gets to push this wave. He might even be able to, honestly, take a turret plate if he really wants to get a little greedy and juice him here. Yeah, he's dead for 8 seconds. Take the plate, bro. Okay. Let's go, Shanks.
Dude, that's wild. Breeze's just like, I'm done with it, man. I'm done.
He takes 2 plates and, oh, no.
We don't need blue side, man. We don't need blue side. But anyways, before I was rudely interrupted by our players actually playing the video game, it is first turret, first to 2 kills, or when the Ring of Fire spawns, first kill during the Ring of Fire is the one that wins the side select and chooses that blue side, as you said. And now, or as we said, and now you just need 1 more kill as Shanks. Like, honestly.
Yep.
You already have the Bramble vest, too.
Wow. What a disgusting piece of tech. I know that Tabe last night was helping with some of the game, or in the series versus BLG, he was helping with the itemization there. He's like, okay, look, actually, this is what you want to take. We're going to be changing it up a little bit. You know, you're going to be looking for this kind of item instead. It was very fun to watch, but now here, I mean, he just gets a Bramble vest. That's really tough for Breathe to deal with.
Ain't need no pointers. Shanks can do it on his own. Though now, I think a little bit more reserved on both sides. Going to be a pretty massive wave here. Coming in.
Yeah,
so,
should just be able
Breathe.
to finish this. Yeah, Shanks
What is
also
Breathe
just gonna
going
get
with?
Level 5. Has to just be Blade of the Ruin King, no. Like, I feel like for all of our AD champions, it's either Blade of the Ruin King or you're going Black Cleaver. I know
Just
we
such
saw,
a good first item.
Yeah, I know when we got the Pantheon mirror matchup for the first series of the day between DOINB and TAEYOON, there was a difference between Black Cleaver and Eclipse.
That was
but
wild.
I don't think Eclipse is very real when we are playing a. You have to try to all in. I think the HP is just too valuable. The movement speed as well as the ability haste is pretty OP.
I'd agree. I would agree. As back to it. It's just a sword dancer and a croc, you know?
Tell me crocodile
Just,
facts, dog, because you know we're not getting anything for the next 2 minutes anyway.
How much do you think a full-grown crocodile weighs?
We're talking pounds or kilos?
Pounds.
Okay, probably like 800 pounds, 700.
It is actually just about over 2,000. So you're a little bit off. But a full-grown croc can be like anywhere between like 1,700 and like 2,200 pounds.
How much does the average domestic house cat
wild.
weigh? Because my house cat currently is griefing the hell out of me, dog. I need to know how heavy this Mimi is. Hey, what's going on? I'm literally turning my back to the 1v1 because I know nothing's happening. Dog.
We're waiting.
What's going on?
We need the Minerva cam. That's
Okay,
what we need.
I'm gonna try and hold her while the 1v1 finishes up. We'll see how long this lasts.
Oh, we need the bump in cam. We need the Mimi cam. Mimi's like, I'm on cam, I'm out.
She is taking my desk. Mimi! Let go of my desk, please!
Mimi's the best. All right,
Okay,
Mimi,
all right,
thank
she's
you.
done.
Thank you for your loyal service to LPL. Thank you, Mimi. Shout out to Mickey Production behind the scenes getting that one going. Mimi just hates the camera. Just hates it.
No,
as soon
actually,
as the camera
Mimi
is
is a huge camera hog. As soon as she'll be doing the cutest thing, literally AFK posing around the house, I whip out my phone and take a picture. Immediately sits up, looks at me deadpan, ruins the whole picture every time.
I love that. Mimi's the GOAT. Shout out to all the cats everywhere. Cause we're not gonna have anything else going. Do you want more croc facts?
Yes, we are I did say, we were talking about the Black Cleaver usually. Shanks going for the Eclipse this time.
Eclipse plus Bramble Vest. That's kind of nasty.
Yeah, that's pretty OP. All right, give me more croc facts.
Well, did you know they can live to be over 60 to 70 years old? I thought that was wild to me. The fact that they could be around for that long is kind of disgusting. Because I mean, you think like obviously, you think of like I was talking about like the poundage of them, and like those like on the high end, right? Like those are like the biggest that we know of. But also to follow that up, they're like 7 meters, like 6 to 7 meters long. And meters, if you don't know, for all like NA people, are big. Meters are long. So we have 7 of those. And then they just get to live for like 70 years.
And they weigh
like,
1 million pounds. Jesus Christ.
Yes, 1 million pounds. Yes, scientifically.
We need to get these guys on a treadmill. We need to get Irwin. Steve Irwin, let's send you back out there, dog. We need you to get these guys in shape.
You just made me sad. Oh, we're going to get the 1v1. Okay, Shanks, maybe going for the second kill. He gets it. Breathe has no chance in this one. AL absolutely handle the 1v1.